Parents, let me ask you something. Does your athlete ever come home from a game saying things like, everyone else is better than me? Or why can't I play like them? Now, if so, your child is struggling with one of the most common mental traps in youth sports, and that's comparing themselves to other athletes. Now, in this video, I'm going to break down why comparing to other athletes will hold your child back, but more importantly, how you can help them to stop so that they can play with more confidence and focus. Now, hello everybody. My name is Brian McSparron from Superior Sports Psyche, where I help athletes and parents build the mental and the mindset skills that they need to have confidence, resilience, and consistency both in sport and in life. See, now comparison might seem harmless. After all, it's normal for kids to look around and see what other kids are doing. But mentally, it's one of the biggest blocks to their growth in sports. And here's why. It's going to limit your athlete's confidence and it's going to distract them from performing at their best. So how does comparison hurt their confidence? See, when an athlete consistently compares themselves to others, they start to believe that they're not good enough and they stop trusting their own skills. Think about it. When your child is comparing, are they doing it from a place of confidence or are they doing it from a place of self-doubt? And usually it's self-doubt. See, athletes who trust themselves, they don't feel the need to compare. They're focused on improving their game and not matching someone else's game. See, confidence is built from two things. It's from the experience of having success and then reflecting on what went well. But when your athlete begins to compare, they skip that reflection part and they overlook their strengths and they begin to minimize their progress. So instead of saying things like, I did well, they're going to say, I'm never going to be as good as her. And then over time, that pattern will quietly chip away at their own belief system. So how does comparison distract your athlete? See, the second part of this is related to their focus. When your athlete is locked in, their attention is really tight and they're focused on the present moment. They're focused on their body. They're focused on their breath. They're focused on the next play. But when comparison creeps in, their focus begins to expand. And suddenly, they're beginning to pay attention to who's faster than them, or who's stronger than them, or who's more skilled than them, or who's getting more playing time. See, I see this pattern often, especially in young athletes around the ages of 10 to 12, just as they're beginning to enter that developmental stage. See, during puberty, you have athletes growing and developing at different stages. And if your athlete feels that he or she is not tall enough or not fast enough as the other players, it can really affect their psyche to go out there and compete. Now, it's also very common when athletes start to move up in their levels of competition, say moving up from a U12 team to a U14 team. And they just don't trust their abilities as much because now they're beginning to face older competition. See, I was recently working with a swimmer who trained really good in practices, but the moment she got behind the blocks in her meet, her focus began to shift to the swimmer who was next to her. And instead of focusing on her own race, she began to thinking about, I've seen her strokes. They're really nice and really smooth. I know she's going to beat me. And that one thought right there took her out of her rhythm even before the race even started. So parents, this is what comparison does. It will pull your athlete out of the moment and into someone else's performance. And that's not fair. So here's how you can help your athlete to stop comparison. Now I want to share with you a 3-step strategy that you can share with your athlete to help manage them comparing and bring their focus back to themselves. So step number 1 is I want you to get your athlete to focus on their game. Help your athlete recognize their unique strengths. If your daughter, for example, is a soccer defender who reads the game really well, okay, she doesn't need to play like the flashy striker who scores all the goals. Have her focus on being the best defender that she can be. If your son plays basketball and he's known for, hustling and being a great teammate, he doesn't need to look like the player who's going to be shooting 20 shots a game. Remind your athletes that everyone has a role, that everyone has value, and their confidence will grow when they focus on what will make them special. Now, if you got this far in the video, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, because every week I'm going to share some new ways to help you raise a more confident and resilient athlete. So step number 2 is I want you to set controllable objectives. See, when you notice your athlete comparing, teach them to redirect their focus towards something that they can control. It might be something related to, I'm going to win the next one-on-one battle if they're playing soccer. Or I'm going to hold my pace for the last 50 meters if they're in swimming. Or I'm going to call out my teammate's name every play if I'm playing volleyball. See, these objectives will bring their attention back to the process and off of other people. Now, finally, step number 3 is I want you to get them to reflect on their game, only their game. See, after the game, I want you to help your athlete evaluate their performance, not everyone else's. Start with the positives that they did. Okay, what did they do well in their game in that moment? Okay, what moments in the game made you proud? Let them talk about it. Okay, then talk about what you want them or what he or she wants to improve on, but without comparison themselves to other athletes or to other teammates. See, what this is going to do is going to help teach your athlete to see growth as being a personal and not a race against their teammates or their competitors. See, when an athlete reflects on themselves, their confidence will naturally build up over time. Now, if you want to learn more about how to help your athlete build mental strength and confidence, then check out the description below for my coaching programs and online courses, as well as my free webinar, Raising a Resilient Athlete, where I share 7 tips to raise confident athletes. Now, if you have any concerns that your athlete's mindset is affecting their performance, then please email me and we can set up a free Zoom session to discuss your athlete's situation. I do offer one-on-one coaching via Zoom, and my email is listed in the link below. Now, if you'd like to learn more about different topics related to mindset sports performance, then please check out this video right up here. So parents, the next time your athlete starts comparing, remind them to come back to their own lane, come back to their own goals, because this is their own journey. See, comparison will steal joy and confidence, but focus and self-trust will build them up.